Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Cone Racing League here for round 9 of Season 5. I am back, of course, after a little couple of week hiatus. My name, of course, is CRC IV. Apologise for that. I've got a little bit of a funny throat tonight, but we will carry on. I am, of course, not alone tonight. I am joined by a very special guest in the form of Relentless_Mark. He is unfortunately just a little bit late to arrival, getting a little bit of refreshment before we start, but he will be joining us very, very shortly. So for the next few minutes, bear with me, stick with me, and we'll get the show on the road. Pardon me, just taking a little drink of water there to replenish the throat. But anyway, we are of course back after a week's hiatus. Last week's race around Monza was unfortunately cancelled. The admins booked us in at the wrong hotel, double booked us. We couldn't get on track. It was an absolute farce, I must say. But we've rescheduled the Italian Grand Prix. We went to another different home. It's been the Italian Grand Prix before. It's been the San Marino Grand Prix before. It is, of course, the legendary track that is Imola, returning to the F1 calendar in recent years due to the ongoing health crisis. But we will say no more about that. Speaking of the track, let's have a little looky here. Of course, Imola, 19 turns, although 2 of them not really turns. 32 laps. It's also of course known as the Autodromo Enzo e Dino Ferrari. Absolute perfect pronunciation, I must say so myself. And of course, with that, some of you will know, the calendar has of course updated. So here we are, Italy, the Italian Grand Prix, here today. Kicking off with Tier 4. First day we've got Tier 3, 2 and 1 of course, as the usual. Next week we head to Mexico, but this week, this is what it's all about. The debut for Imola, a very new track to the game, a very new track for some of these drivers. And what better way to get to know a new track than to have 2 of our very own, very, very fast Tier 1 drivers take us on a lap round, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. Big thank you to FRL_Haroon and Total Peas for putting to nice flying laps together. Got a nice little comparison here on a little lap tour, of course. Turn 1 here, this little kink on the right, not really a turn as such, but the game likes to count it as such. Heading down to the real turn 1, of course, Tamburullo. You notice there, Haroon, of course, for those you do know him, he's on the wheel, Peas is on the pad, and you can just see very slightly in some of the turns the effect that has on their cornering. Haroon a little bit more aggressive, attacking them sausage curls with a bit more aggressive, and as such, he's getting a better run through sector 1. It's only, at this point in the lap, believe it or not, 0.037 seconds up. These guys are at the top of Tier 1. There's a reason they're at the top of Tier 1. It's because they can do laps like these. Of course, coming through the Aquaman Rally, that double right-hander again. Very, very close here. And at this, the difference between their 2 times in second sector, 7 thousandths. 7 thousandths between them. So at this point, there's just under half a tenth between the 2 of them as we head through that nice little chicane, turns at 14 and 50. Very tricky corner. You've got to nail it right to execute the track limits and, of course, get the speed through. But Total Peas, he's going to claw a little bit of time here through the final 2 corners. It's been a quick lap. I haven't really had much to explain to, but there we go. The 2 times, a 1:13.5 for Haroon and a 1:13.601 for Total Peas. Both these guys are in the top 100 in the world on PlayStation. They also are in the top of the field in Cone. So that just shows the talent we have here on display. Hopefully, we'll see something like this tonight with the guys. As you know, the Tier 4, I don't expect them to hit, you know, the high 14s as such. That would be maybe a bit adventurous for them guys. But low 15s, high 14s, definitely a possibility. Just get the telemetry up here. I've almost timed that to perfection. I can hear my co-commentator messing about in the background, so hopefully he'll be here very, very soon. But we do have some debutants tonight making their CRL debut. One of them in the Alfa Romeo right now, excuse me, is of course Funny Oz Chip 99. He makes his debut for the race tonight. Another one, Matt Roney. Rowney, sorry I might butcher the pronunciation here as well as some of the Italian corner names. He makes his debut tonight in CRL. He will be looking to show us what sort of pace he's got, as well of course Ozchimp. I believe there is one more, although I could be wrong. I am wrong. They are only 2 debutants. Greg's Game Centre, that is normally in that Aston Martin, sadly is having to give up his full-time seat, so we will be seeing somebody new, somebody fresh in that seat very, very soon. But we're going to jump on board right now for a little lap on with MEFC Harvey. He's one of the first to be setting his time. Masterclass when it comes to quali forts so far this season, picking up multiple, and I mean 4 or 5 in a row, pardon me, pole positions so far this season. He will be one to watch, as will Wild Dog in the Ferrari, the only man over the course of the season that has won more than one Grand Prix. Of course, MEFC Harvey sitting purple sector 2s there, as he will be, I believe, the first to set a flying lap, although Hedgehog looks like he might actually beat him for it. But we'll stick on board with MEFC Harvey now as he comes through the final, well, the Rivazza complex, turns 18 and 19. Technically the final 2 corners, although it depends, because looking at this graph I've got, there's 21 corners. It's very, very strange, but it doesn't validate, goes back into the pits. Pardon me again. Oh, this could be an interesting night with the throat, but there is our first time on the board. It is a 1:16.5 on the softs by CRL Digweed. Maverick on the mediums going for a 17.4. We will see these times start to creep down as the session goes on, of course, as drivers get up to speed with the circuit. The circuit gains a little bit of rubber and a little bit of temperature in the tyres, so looking to see them times start to creep down. I expect us to see, well, there we go, we're already the 1:16.0s. We're definitely going to get into the 15s. 14s might be a little bit, oh gee, I need my co-commentator and I need him quick. Might be a little bit adventurous,
and
shall we say?
Is here.
He is here. It's relentless Mark. He is very relentless and very, very Mark. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing okay. Sorry for the delay, but I'm here and I heard you need of me, which you always need this company.
We always need a man like Mark. Mark Rowney, speaking of, well, not a namesake, a nearly namesake, Matt and Mark, very close together. He goes P2 with a 1:16.4. Yes, the throat's playing up with me tonight, Mark, for some reason. So I may choke, I may stutter, and you'll be there to fill the void. You always fill a void with us, Mark. Void, the void in our hearts.
Of course. I'm always the interesting one, you know.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far. But anyway, new circuit, of course, here in Imola. How are you? As I think. Wait, sorry, Mark. We lost you there for a minute. We sort of went a little bit Dr. Robotnik on us.
Am I alive?
You're still here. We can still hear you now, but we lost you for a brief moment.
Okay. It's because when I talk too much, even the universe tells me to shut up. So.
Well, we do have the issue of you talking too much quite often, don't we? So anyway, I'll ask you again. What's your opinion on the new track, Mark? Imola.
I love it, man. The curves are aggressive, especially the ones in Sector 2. You have to be careful that not to invalidate it up, which actually isn't that hard here. I feel like the chicane maybe can get a bit tough. As I'm speaking, Reverend Melvin goes P2 on the... Oh no, he did switch to the softs, because I did see him on the mediums before. But he's on the softs. Everyone's on the softs, I think. We have 2 people on the mediums.
Yep. Everybody apart from Quick Killer and the Maverick on the mediums. Yeah, like you're touching on there. Very, very aggressive circuit, I think we could say, with the curbs. You've really got to attack the corners, but if you attack it wrong, it could all end disaster. And that could be the key tonight for these guys. Of course, this is Tier 4. This is our, so we say, less experienced tier. A lot of these guys haven't been league racing too long, so it will be a test for them.
You may say less experienced, but I personally my favorite tier because they are less experienced.
Yes,
it's the most entertaining one, that's for sure.
There's a great variety of strategies, and just the moves they go for are some of the ones that you guys would never think of, because you'd think save up the ERS, get the DRS in the next straight, and just an easy overtake, you know, down the main straight. MEFC Harvey though does go P3 on a 16.4. That's I still do think like that. I still think just dive for every corner. But we'll get a little catch up of how this division has been going so far. Of course, last week, well, 2 weeks ago now in Baku, Wild Dog, you were of course there in the session on the comms that night. Wild Dog made it 3 wins on the trot as Matt Rowney goes top with a 15.8, 2 tenths clear of his teammate. That is a reserve making your debut, that is a way to make forward. But Riordan, according to the game, is on purple sectors here. Back to that, sorry. Wild Dog getting the win out last time in Baku, his third in a row, the only person on this grid to win more than one this season. Hedgehog P2 and AFL in P3. Drivers' Championship, AFL still leading the way, shortly followed by Hedgehog, Mark Wilson, Mean Man Moody and Wild Dog. But don't discount Quick Killer, MUFC Harvey, Reverend Melvin. There are so many of these drivers on the grid that can win. It's such a tight grid, especially at the front. Constructors, the big battle, of course, between Williams, Mercedes and McLaren. And even Red Bull, they're starting to get in the mix here. And AlphaTauri, actually. It's tightened up over the last few weeks. Sorry, Mark, I was just going a little rant, getting my stats out of the way.
Yeah, your tryhard stats. But I was going to say, I'm calling Wild Dog for the Season 4 Tier 4 champion. That's right. I'm making the bet. I'm making the guess. And he's my boy. And I know he's got this. He's got the championship in the back. He may be like 4 points behind. That's nothing.
Well, the thing is, he, of course, did have 21 points after the first 5 rounds. He now stands at 141. 120 points out of 3 races. That's an impressive bit of form. He is definitely a man in form, as is MUFC Harvey when it comes to qualifying. Reverend Melvin, Quick Killer, don't discount them. Quick Killer and Wild Dog having that battle in Baku until there was a little bit of a collection between the two that sort of ruined Quick Killer's chances of the win, so he's not one to discount. Neither is this man here, actually, that we're on board with, CRL Digweed. He's apparently just went purple sector too, so he could be one to watch. Of course, was a full-time driver, had to step down to reserve, but he's back on the grid tonight, which we love to see. A veteran of the community. We all love our PO. We all love our Digweed. Shout out to the Durham boys.
And I'm going to have to do a strange one here. I have to stop cocoing for 2 minutes. I'm gonna abandon you. Always with a spin from the man on pole.
Matt Rowney.
On a hot lap. Yeah, he was still on the softs. I have to say, he's on the same softs he's been for 4 laps, which is mad. I guess he doesn't need any more, and he doesn't need new tires in a faster lap, does he?
It is a strange one. Of course, he will start on them tyres if he is in the top 10, and right now he is, about 1.4 seconds within the top 10.
I'm sure he's going for his final set soon.
I hope for his sake he is.
I hope.
I really do.
Alright.
But yeah, I'll let you jump out for a few seconds, and I'll let the people enjoy my waffle for a few minutes.
Of course, who doesn't?
But another one to watch out that we haven't actually mentioned so far this evening, Mark Wilson, 1995. This man has been showing some pace. He had good results of P3s about 3 or 4 races in a row. A little bit of bad luck in Portugal, but we know that he has the pace at times. He's actually probably got the pace of some of the tier 3 drivers, I would say. Just needs to maybe keep it together in the race, and he'll be looking to do that and get some valuable points here tonight. He does cross the line and goes provisional P2. 600s off the top, but 400s ahead of Hedgehog. I know them two normally party up and talk together, so there might be a little bit of discussion going there. Spider Rob 95 has invalidated his lap. Tobo Tip Top, a man that, shall we say, maybe hasn't lived up to the expectations put on him at the start of the season. I think a lot of people had him billed as quite a strong contender. He was, obviously, he's got experience in Tier 4 and Tier 3 from previous seasons, if I've got that correct, so maybe just struggling, of course, with the new game, and of course some of us, with life going back to normal in the last 3 months, we don't have the same time as we used to sweat it out. That is, of course, how Mark's got as slow as he is, because, terrible. I'm going to just take this opportunity to rinse him while he's not here, folks. Just bear with me on that. But Tom tipped up one, and he'll be looking to bounce back and maybe put a spring back into his season. Of course, it being the new game, the first game of the new season, we can't expect a little gripes, little people just getting up to speed, change a handling mode. It'll suit some, it'll suit others. We also don't know. For all I know, he's maybe switched from pad to wheel and changed his assists. But he is going to cross the line and does improve to go P7 with a 16.6. Top Nate 8, all within a second. Ice Scott Gay, not far behind them. The top 9 sort of disconnected. Let's just have a look at the best lap times. So, of course, Quick Killer, he's been on a set of mediums, as has the Maverick. As I say that, Mark's prediction of Wild Dog is looking to come back to fruition. He goes for a 15.7. Like we said, folks, these lap times are slowly starting to creep down. But Quick Killer, I expect him to put in a better lap. The Maverick as well. I don't off the top of my head know what the delta is between the tyres, but there will be enough for them to jump themselves up a good few positions anyway. So they'll be ones to watch towards the latter stage of this qualifying session. Wild Dog might have time to get in and get another lap on. I'd imagine Matt Rowney and Mark Wilson will be doing the same, as Reverend Melvin invalidates around the final turn on his flying lap, so he'll be looking to go again. MEFC Harvey, though, the man that's been on pole repeatedly, he's currently 3/10 up coming through Akram Minerali. There we go, I got that one right. So he'll be, delta is 9/10 Scott. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Joshua Williams, J. Wells. So there you go, 9/10 the difference. Quick Killer will be looking at a 17.3 in his a 16.3 in his time, sorry. MEFC Harvey, though, I missed that time there because I was checking the comments, but he is definitely up in his time, and if he is up the 3/10, as it said he was, he won't be far away from Wild Dog's time here. Coming through the final turn, the left-hander, so easy to invalidate running wide, cutting the corner on entry or spinning. He crosses the line with a 15.5, 2/10 clear at the top. The man that has made that pole position his this season so far is doing so again.
What a lap!
What a lap indeed, Mark. What a lap indeed. As Do Will has started a party, I forgot to turn my notifications off again. Do Well making his guest appearance. We love you, Kevin. Scott Gay crosses line, does improve to go P8. AFL championship leader currently finds himself down at P11. He'll be looking to jump up some positions, of course. 17.2 at the moment. He is about 1.7 seconds off, but doesn't seem to be on a flyer at the moment. Digweed, he's just starting a lap.
Has the starting lap as well. Behind him, at the Mason lap, he's a second up on his time. That's gonna put him provisional P10. He's gonna go.
And he hasn't validated. He must have, I think that was the final corner. He did do a 16.662, which would have put him just in P9, just in front of his teammate Tomo Tiptop, but he should have time if he's got fuel to go again. Mean Man Moody is showing purple sector too, but
no,
is it
and
much?
that's at him in the wall. At him. His wing's broken, that's him out of qualifying. He's not going to get back into the pits in time again for another lap.
That'll be him. It'll be P13 the best for him. BX37 Pro hasn't set a lap, but I do believe he has a qualifying ban for this evening. Matt Rowney, he is on a lap and he is 600 up on his time as it stands. That wouldn't jump him up position, but a mighty final sector could see the difference here. 3/10 off the pole position at the time. He's going to need to string these laps, these final two corners of the lap together very, very nicely. But Digweed invalidating P6 at the moment with a 16.3. Will have time to go again, of course, if he has fuel. Matt Rowney rounding the final corner up to the line for a 1:15.583, half a tenth off the pole time of MEFC Harvey. Mark Wilson, he is on a lap, current P4. It says he's 700s down in his time, but we'll wait and see what his Sector 2 split is. Wild Dog on an out lap. Hedgehog in the pits. I don't know if he'll have enough time he should just have enough time if he gets out very, very soon. Mark Wilson crossing the second sector split time. Is slightly down on his time. Again, a mighty third sector here.
Matt Rowney, 2/10 up on just the first sector. Now this could be a lap.
It looks as if he's on a slow lap.
I swear his first sector was 2/10 faster.
And while I changed to see that, something happened with Mark Wilson, whether he's just abandoned that lap because he wasn't far enough up, letting some traffic through.
He's not going any faster. There's a bunch of people crossing the line now.
River Melvin starting his final lap. See, this is what I love about short qualifying. You never know who's actually on a lap and who's just going slow. The full qualifying, you have a sort of idea. I'm jealous of them guys that get to commentate that because I don't have a clue who to commentate or who to watch at times here.
Yeah.
But we are going to watch Wild Dog. He's been your pick for the season. My pick for the season. Do you know what? I've got the back either AFL. He's had a strong start. Maybe tailed off.
Oh, and that's a spin for Scott Gay, and he's not going anywhere.
That's through at the first. It looks like the two Red Bulls there have actually had a spin. That'll be Digweed as well. Just very easy to collect it on the curbs, like we've said. But my pick will, of course, be with Wild Dog. Maybe AFL, as we say that Wild Dogs just went really wide for that commander, are they? AFL's had a very strong start to the season, so he could be one to watch. But I've also got the back of the boy Hedgehog, the Tier 4 admin. He's been around since the start of Season 4. He's shown very good improvement, I must admit. And he is a very good friend of mine, so maybe a little bit biased there, but I'd like to see him up there. He is on an outlap, of course.
And what we've missed is Matt Rowney crashing. It's a rare challenge for Paul.
You're right there, he's crashed through the third set, and Wild Dog cannot improve in his time there. I'm all over the place. Just a quick one as well, Mark. Could you be able to send Riordan an invite? I'm hearing whispers that he might have been disconnected.
Yes, and I also have a request from head admin to put my voice up because I'm a bit quiet. So
I'll have to sort that for you. I'll sort that just at the end of qualifying here. Scott Gay won't approve now the World Digweed, so the next will be the Mercedes. MEFC Harvey, he will be the next to cross a line. Let's just see, he's on 4-lap old soft, so if he does, he will be starting on old tyres. Looking at it though, a lot of the front 8 are on quite old tyres for the best lap. He does run wide through the chicane, that'll hamper his chances severely. Run down to the final 2 bends. And he does run wide and invalidate, so he won't be able to improve in his time. Next, I believe that'll be AFL, if I can get to him quick enough. It says he was 6 times, so he did invalidate. We've now got Hedgehog, I believe, who crossed the line. Can only go P4, though, 15-7. Next will be a Ferrari of Spider Rob, and Wild Dog has invalidated, as has Reverend Melvin. Spider Rob crossed the line, it doesn't improve. So it'll be Riordan, and then Mark Wilson, he's invalidated. I think that's us done. That is us, Mark. MEFC Harvey picking up pole yet again. Matt Rowney, the newcomer in the Aston Martin, of course a reserve in on his debut tonight, only half a tenth off him. But them two, a tenth and a half clear of Wild Dog in P3. Hedgehog, the man that's maybe always struggled in qualifying pace in the past, he's up there in P4, and Mark Wilson, strong P5 for him. This could be a very, very tasty league race here, Mark. I'm hoping I've turned.
You're done back in, so
I've turned you up to maximum volume. You might need to get the vocal cords going a bit, Mark. Just maybe a little bit shouting. Because you're on max volume right now, and everything else is turned down a good little bit just to try and balance it. But at the same time, I don't want everybody's TV and phone turned up to 100 volume, and then they switch channels or switch to watch a previous league race from us and deafen themselves. So try and keep a nice balanced audio here. But there we go. MEFC Harvey in the Mercedes. This is, of course, critical in the Constructors battle. The Mercedes of MEFC Harvey is pulling in valuable points, and he is looking good to score more again, starting a pole. Matt Rowney, on his debut, as we have said, starting P2. Wild Dog, 3 wins on the trot for him. He's now got to make it 4, but it will be from P3. Hedgehog 11 and P4 on their sister Aston Martin. A good qualifying from then with Mark Wilson P5. Reverend Melvin, Digweed, Scott Gay, Toma Tiptop and Riordan complete your top 10. Quick Killer 21, AFL, Maverick, Spider Rob, Mean Man Moody, Atomic, Fuzzy Ozchimp, and BX37 Pro complete the grid. 18 cars on the grid tonight, of course, out of a possible 20. Piero is one that I know is definitely missing. There is, of course, a few others. I can't remember on the top of my head. I'm just going to have a little look through the comments here, and yeah, a lot of F1 Richie, thank you very much for pointing out that we need a little bit more volume on Mark. We try and keep him a bit quiet as we can, but and your own Visor saying that as well, actually. You want to keep Mark quiet as he screams quite a lot.
See, I have praises from the comments from Daniela. I'm sure it's from Mark Wilson, but I'm going to take it as a mark. I'm Mark, so.
That's, of course, Mark Wilson's better half, Daniela. She's always here in the comments, as is Amelia, Hedgehog's better half. There's a lot of love from the other halves in the comments tonight. We love to see this. Partly Mark is winning, so go you, Mark. Well done. Doomsray, go CRL. We love to see that here. And Joshua Williams saying, won the AFL. A lot of love in there.
Yeah. I am excited for this race. Turn 1, honestly, the first lap, it's gonna be chaos, isn't it?
If you're on the midfield, it could get hectic. Of course, it is possible to go too wide through the first left-hander. it's a little bit less possible to go too wide through the second right-hander immediately after it. And we did see in a practice race with some of the tier 1, tier 2 guys and just some guys from other leagues earlier on in the weekend that going 3 wide is a death sentence for at least one of you. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But anything can happen, of course. All it takes is somebody to get a good start and somebody not to.
So while Codemasters does its thing and it doesn't start the game, are your predictions for Lights Out? I'm gonna say Wild Dogs to take P1 to Lights Out.
I think I disagree with you slightly. I think Wild Dog is going to be side by side with MUFC Harvey from P3, but I think Matt Rowney, of course, we know those that have done it before. Look at that starting position for the pole position. BX37 Pro has left the session, so Mark, if you could fire him a little quick invite. We can see from the starting box from that Mercedes on that one that he is pointed into the grass, so it might be a tricky start for him. I think Matt could get a good launch here, and maybe we should see some teamwork between Matt and Hedgehog to try and get through. If you can make it through turn 1 and 2 at the front cleanly, there's a good chance you're going to get a good gap, because the guys behind you are going to be so tight, so congested. There's just going to be so many cars going into such a small space of tarmac that there's bound to be some congestion. But we will take...
I have a ginormous thunderstorm outside, so why suddenly stop coming? Good luck on your own.
Pray for Mark in the Malta sun. Not so sunny tonight, of course. Looking at the tyre strategy, though. The top 10, all, of course, starting on the softs. Quick Killer in P11, opting for the hards. The only person to go in the hards. Everybody else, from P12 downwards, is on the mediums, apart from the Maverick and Spider Rob in P13 and 14, respectively, who are, of course, on the softs. Strategy round here, I would say... a soft medium is definitely doable. Pit around lap 12 if you start in the softs, lap 13 maybe. That would be my guess. Of course, I do have a tier 1 and very highly decorated esports driver sitting in the combo beside me, so he'll probably know a bit better. Mark, what's your thoughts on that?
I was sending a message, so I didn't hear this.
I was asking you about tyre strategy.
Oh, I don't have a clue. So
only the best here, folks.
Medium. Soft medium. Yeah, I'm gonna get soft medium for the end. We do have we do have a hard runner, which I did not notice, which is Quick Killer.
Yes. Jacob, can I get an E emoji in the chat, please? Mark, we've already been over this. While you're sending this message, I went through the entire grid, believe it or not. This isn't my first rodeo when it comes to commentary, believe it, you know.
Okay, flex.
But a soft medium, that's what I was asking, or a medium soft, very doable. Quick Killer, of course, can easily do a hard soft. There we go. We got there on the end, folks.
For sure, 100%.
Jacob, thank you for the E in the chat. A little inside joke there that most people should hopefully get.
It's green. I'll leave it in your hands, Scott.
Brilliant. Oh, well, here we go for the Imola Grand Prix, the Italian Grand Prix, round 9 of CRL Tier 4. 5 red lights and lights out. Away we go. We're on board with Wild Dog in the Ferrari. MUFC Harvey moving across to the right to cover off Matt Rowdy. A little bit of wheel banging, it almost looks like, but they seem to have got away. No, they haven't. Quick Killer at the back has had connection and has spun. He'll be dropping right back to the back. Right down to the back. And Matt Rowney seems to be round with MUFC Harvey. We did say there could be fireworks at the start here, and fireworks there has been. The man from P2 dropping right down to the back. Quick Killer as well getting spun and caught up. Let's have a look at the positions gained so far, because this could be all over the place. Atomic up 5 on the start already. BX37 Pro up 6. And it looks as if Riordan's had a little spin, because he's dropping down the grid very, very quick at the moment. What is going on at the back? What have we missed?
Oh no!
There is multiple cars without front wings. Atomic's got mixed up in that. And the Maverick and Matt Rowney, it seems that they're a little bit at the back. Matt Rowney doesn't seem to have damage. The Maverick has damage, as does Quick Killer, Riordan, and Atomic. So a lot of early pit stops here. Meanwhile, at the front,
Wild Dog's all over Harvey. He's gonna get a great slipstream down the main straight. We've tested it here. The slipstream, DRS, everything's so overpowered here.
It is really powerful. Wild Dog draining the ERS there. Maybe should be thinking to save it until the DRS comes, but he is. Look how much he's closing up even with just the slipstream. Wait till he gets that rear wing open. He's down to 3 tenths behind. A gap sort of starting to form between Hedgehog and P3 and Rever and Melvin. So these front three, like we sort of said, might pull away if they can get away. A good start. 4 in the pit at the back, of course. The Maverick, Quick Killer, Reorden and Atomic. So Reorden going onto the mediums, Quick Killer, mediums. The Maverick looks to be going another set of hards. Is that right?
I think so, yeah.
Bold strategy, but I can see why he's going for it. And Atomic softs. At the front, the Wild Dog is sticking with.
Oh, and both the top two both go very wide in that corner. Taking that maybe a bit of a cheat code.
Easily done. And speaking of going wide, Tomo Tip Top and Mean Man Moody getting the first of the penalties tonight. Closest gap battle is the Wild Dog on MEFC Harvey. He'll be desperate for his 4th win on the bounce. Even a 4th podium on the bounce would be very good, but this is really leap forward him into title contention, like you've sort of said at the start. And he does go fast as that.
I wouldn't be using his ERS, but he is going to use ERS, and he is going to go for a move now. It's going to be down the inside, round the outside. It's going to be down the inside. Is he going to go for it? He is.
He isn't going to be able to, because it looks to be a full course safety car, or at least a VSC. Yeah, VSC, I said that right this time. Atomic coming off through the first sector on the left hand side of your screen now. For some reason it's glitching out. It doesn't say if it's a full safety car or a VSC. Are you able to update us on that, Mark?
It is a virtual safety car on my screen, so
I've just got a yellow box of nothingness, so thank you Codemasters once again for your brilliant services. We really do love paying the money for this game. But that will give Tomo Tip Top seems to his green flag back to racing. Speaking of Tomo Tip Top, Tomo Tip Top getting the VSC at the back there under the safety car. But Wild Dog, like you say, getting a very good start. Actually, yeah, he's jumped MEFC Harvey. Was that before the VSC or after? I might have missed that.
It was exactly when the VSC started. He just was ahead. So Wild Dog and the VSC getting a bit of a DRS back, which is great. But Harvey's right behind him, and you know what Harvey's gonna have now is gonna be DRS. We talked about how strong it is, so let's see it to play here. Harvey is using his ERS. He has DRS open. Wild Dog is nothing in the moment. He's not even using his ERS, and look how fast Harvey's coming down.
Gonna move to the inside into turn 1. Think slightly better of it. Maybe a wise move there. Scott Gay further back getting past Mark Wilson. Hedgehog and Rever Melvin battling for P3. There seems to be a battle for P1, P3 and P5. Scott Gay runs slightly wide there. Lets Mark Wilson through quite easily. And Digweed getting a 5-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane. He of course had a little spin you might have seen in the map through the final, through the last sector on the last lap there.
Oh, and Harvey slightly on the grass, and that's lost him about 9/10 to Wild Dog.
It has dropped them out of DRS range, so that could be key here. Of course, we can see
again. That's the first penalty there.
That's a penalty for MEFC Harvey. He is catching back up into DRS range though, so maybe looking to get a move back down the straight. But now he's not just got to make the move. He's got to make the move and find 3 seconds. Mark Wilson and Scott Gay, however, slightly closing the gap on Reverend Melvin. Reverend Melvin only 4 attempts behind Hedgehog for the battle for the final podium positions at the moment. He'll be looking to make a move.
This Melvin and Hedgehog, and Melvin's going to have a great run at Hedgehog. He's got way more ARS, he's got DRS, it's going to be an easy overtake for Melvin.
Look at the speed just catching up in Hedgehog, dive into the inside and by before even the breaking point. Easy as you like. Harvey though is caught right up in Wild Dog while that's been happening.
Oh no! Just as he gets past Hedgehog, he lost the rear of the car.
Is that commentator's curse? Do we take the blame for that? As MEFC Harvey goes up the inside of Wild Dog into the hairpin. Can't quite get the grip on the exit, but that was a nice little move there if it had pulled off. Getting a better entry. And Reverend Melvin he has spun it under.
Is it not going to be a safety car?
It's the same place as Atomic spun and it's more on track, so I'd be surprised if it isn't.
but all the cars are past it, so no, there won't be a safety car. Not even a VSC. Melvin breaks very late as the back of Wild Dog. I have to say, both front runners very, very low on ERS already.
Yeah, really low. Hedgehog as well. Mark Wilson looking good, as is Scott Gay. But the two of them using that ERS to pull away, they're 4.6 seconds clear of the gap to the cars behind, as Digweed is retired through the first sector. And that will be a full course safety car.
Harvey was about to pull the move. As he was about to pull the move, safety car came out, so that was unfortunate for Harvey.
So here we go, Mark. There's that car of Digweed's, very much in the track. Absolute safety car. Here we go then, Mark. Of course, everybody in the top 7, apart from AFL on the softs. You'd imagine they would all pit. Matt Rowney and P10 is, of course, pitting on the softs. The medium runners further back, what would you say with them? Personally, I would think, let it run. Try and stretch the mediums and go softs at the end? Or would you be thinking of doing what Mean Man Moody's doing?
I think the soft runners gotta pit for those hards at the end. And I think the medium runners just let it run. Keep going those mid.
Well, Matt Rowney, he has done exactly what you've said. He's went soft to hard. Mean Man Moody going medium to soft, so he will definitely need to stop again. But if there is a late safety car, or, you know, anything could happen in this race, of course.
Of course there's going to be a late safety car.
I will not have you disrespect the tier 4 like that. Not one bit. But, of course, he will be on the fresh softs. We know the softs are the strongest tyres, of course, because that is just the nature of how they work. He will have good tyres. He will be able to do a soft to the end now, I do believe. You know, you can take them about 12, 13 laps. Both are front runners.
There we go. Both the front runners in the pits.
That looked like a little bit of a late entry from Wild Dog. I'm not too sure what was happening there, but Hedgehog, though, he's going long.
Interesting.
Scott Gay following suit.
Interesting. Harvey putting on a second set of softs, and Wild Dog going for the mediums. Does Wild Dog think those mediums will go to the end?
I think Mark Wilson doing the same. It'll be a stretch. It might be possible if they're kind in their tyres, or they get another VSC or safety car.
We've seen Wild Dog with great tyre management before, so you never know. He could take these to the end easily. He could end up with a puncture in the end and lose everything. We'll see.
MEFC Harvey and Mean Man Moody going for the 2-stop. Top 6 still yet to pit. We've got 3 on the softs, 3 in the mediums. So Hedgehog, Scott Gay and Spider Rob all going long on the softs. They'll be hoping that they can just pull away from the first few laps here, go for the mediums and hope that the 1-stop is enough. Track position over fresh tyres, I suppose they're thinking. AFL in a great position, you must admit. You know, on the mediums, 6-lap olds, currently in P3. No penalties to his name so far. He's looking pretty strong. Of course, be able to take them to probably about lap 22, I would say, maybe, and then pit for softs 23. I think that would be about right.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Just getting a few comments here. Pepin Strauss, our boy Strauss, Papa Strauss, as we affectionately like to call him. Corner of Death already. It might be a christening for that. Maybe the Sector of Death might be a bit more fitting, because we have seen 3 cars through turns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I believe it is. So maybe a more suitable name. Joshua Williams, or J Wells as he is also known as, he's saying surely the mediums won't go to end. It'll be a stretch, Josh, but it could be possible. Of course, BSC and safety cars might have a little effect on that, but you've got to wonder, the drop off at the end of the tyres, even if they can go to the end, the speed disadvantage will be immense.
Oh, and Harvey almost overtaking Wild Dog. I don't know if you saw that, but I think he might have thought it was green flags.
Getting a little bit too excited there. I'm surprised some of the guys at the back reordering Quick Killer, Tomo, Tip Top, Maverick, you know, they are far back. They're on some of the older tyres compared to the sort of midfield. Maybe take the free stop, because the tyres they're on aren't going to go at the end. Of course, the reordering Quick Killer, Tomo, Tip Top could easily slap on a set of hards and go to the end. Maverick, of course, he used his hards, but he could go medium, then maybe soft at the end or something. Of course, what do I know? You know, there's a reason I'm not racing tonight.
I would stay on those hards, maybe stay on the hards and then softs at the end.
stay in the hards. What about the medium? If I was the medium guys, I'd probably slap on a fresh set of mediums because you're only going to lose 2-3 positions at most. But of course, it is Imola. Track position is key here. So, I've got a lot of questions to answer before Thursday night, Mark. It seems. Oh, KXI, Steiny, DeRouge, Jamie Robertson. You'll all be sitting listening like we're inside this guy's head already. We've got the race win already. Like, don't even consider him.
I have faith in Hedgehog. I have faith in Hedgehog to get his second win of the season. So, but at the same time, safety car. I'll shut up. Safety car in this lap.
Yep, the safety car is in this lap. So we will see the restart. Hedgehog becomes the de facto pace setter, of course, under these conditions. We're going to ride on board with...
Why don't we jump board with AFL for the restart?
Yeah, AFL will be a good position.
Oh, he's gone! Yeah, he's gone already. What a jump! He gone everyone else.
He is gone. There seems to be a little bit of mixing further back. Wild Dog.
Oh, there's a huge mix-up! Wild Dog. Already 3.1 seconds and he's about to get eaten alive by the hard winding.
It looks like it seems to be the AI of BX37 Pro. He's still not back in the session, and that AI, Wild Dog, of course, you can sneak by the AIs under safety car. Wild Dog choosing not to do that and getting held up by the AI, and that's sort of causing a ripple effect further down the field. So that has been great news if you're in the top 5. Funny Osh Chip, by the way, got to give a shout out to this man. Started P17, it's his first ever race in CRL. He's currently up in P5, so good run for him in the Alfa Romeo. The top 5 gunning away from the rest of them due to that Big Ben, BX37 Pro and Wild Dog mishap. Of course, Ben will need to get back in the session soon if he wants to resume the race and get any points if he does finish in it. Sorry Mark, what were you going to say?
I was going to say Wild Dog, 3.5 seconds before the restart. Only took him one lap. Get back in that DRS. He's 6 tenths behind on the Austrian. So, what a lad. Wild Dog has great pace and he's showing it.
He's really started to show the pace we've seen him at times last season, in the second half of this season. Tomo Tip Top having a couple of spins and then getting a 5-second penalty for seems to be cutting the chicane in sector 3. MUFC Harvey though getting another pen.
Wild Dog's gonna go for it right now. He's gonna go down the inside. Oh no, he's backed out a second. Thought maybe better.
Better of it, he will have a good chance into the hairpin here. Even not deciding against it.
No, he's going for a smart play. He knows there's still 20. Oh, but he's gonna go for it right now. And he is gonna get the better line to this corner.
Into the sweeping left through sector 2. Gets by very, very nicely. Able to hunt down his teammate Spider up front. Of course, 7 laps fresher and old soft against new mediums. It's going to be an easy pace advantage for Wild Dog. Further up though, Scott Key is
3 laps to go in this race, so we still have plenty of tier 4 action. Spider goes very deep and wide.
going to jump back to Wild Dog because he's closed up that gap mightily fast. And actually, the guys at front, Hedgehog and Scott Gay, and AFL as well, they might be starting to sweat a little bit here because they've got the Wild Dog hunting them down like a wild dog. That's a crofty level pun there.
Very wide. The Austrian, I think, commentators, guys, is now getting hunted down by MC Harvey. Who's not opting to go for the slipstream. He's just on the side, but he's going to try down the inside, I think, and things better.
A lot of these drivers here, even after the safety car restart, very low on ERS at the moment.
Indeed, and here we go, Harvey's going to go down the inside. He is. Austrian's giving him a lot of space and almost lets him by with him on. He had to slow down. And now Mark Wilson's looking down the inside of Matt Rooney, but decides to funny Austrian. The second you mentioned him doing absolutely great, he's getting eaten up by these backrunners.
He definitely is.
Fresher tires and faster tires.
I do know the guy, a little bit in from the guy. He is pretty inexperienced when it comes to league racing, so still finding his feet, but that is exactly what Div 4 is all about. A lot of us, I mean, I've started here, Hedgehog, Jay Wells, there's a lot of guys, and speaking of that, Funny O's Chimp and Matt Rowney having a little coming together. Mark Wilson, oh, that's a little bit silly in his part, I must admit. I would have just been completely backing off and waiting to see what happened.
Quick killer going for a move on Funny O's Chimp, but absolutely He shunted Matt into the wall.
That could be one for the stewards there.
It will be one for the stewards indeed. That was an absolute... I don't know what happened there.
Further up the field, AFL getting the run with DRS down the main straight and overtaking Scott Gay for P2. He'll now be looking to hunt down Hedgehog. 11 lap softs against 11 lap mediums. So, you know, the pace probably swinging to AFL now with the grip. Himself starting to go. But I say that, he runs wide and Scott Gay is back through. We are dishing out commentators' curve left, right and centre here today, Mark.
How about Wild Dog? Already another 2 seconds had to catch up here. The clock man is on 9%. So I don't know what it is, but I feel like everyone has used their ERS here a bit too quickly. You guys need to keep the whole race in mind. There's still 20 laps to go.
Well, a man that is considering the rest of the race is AFL. That's 70% battery, nearly 80% coming into that braking zone there against Wild Dog's 7-ish. Could be the difference. And as I say that, he picks up a 3-second penalty. We really need to just stop commentating, I think.
Yeah. Stop commentating. Harvey on the back of Wild Dog. Now Harvey's on those fresh softs.
Gonna ride on board with Harvey here.
Oh, and there's Scott in the pits.
Hedgehog from the lead lap 11. We're gonna ride on board with Harvey here and see what kind of slipstream he gets. Of course,
and
free
AFL
cars.
takes the lead.
Does get past Scott Gay, of course. Well, oh, it's MFC Harvey goes a little deep.
Shot from Harvey, and Scott got a bad exit, so now Wilder's gonna go down the inside. Does he though? No, he doesn't. He's gonna get a better exit now for the hairpin. He might try at the hairpin, and he doesn't. Saves it for the next corner. And Harvey goes for a huge high bomb on both cars and ends up getting spun in the process.
If he'd made that stick, that would have been an absolute amazing of a move. But of course, how it is, he just looks silly when it doesn't come off. He's in a good position there, but a little bit audacious move. But I suppose that's there. And Scott Gay spun through Aqua Miller Rally. He was having a good race sitting up there in P2, still having to pit, of course. But we mentioned it's a tricky track.
It's how Wild Dog is back in P2 after the abysmal restart. He's back in it. Just needs to catch up that gap, and we have another spin. Oh, but he's back on track already. It was just a small spin from Red Bull. Scott once again. Tires.
Yep, Wild Dog in P2. In P2, of course, but doesn't have to pit again if he can nurse them tyres. AFL will have to pit because he's been on them from the start. MUFC Harvey getting a run on Mark Wilson down with the DRS and ERS down into turn 1. An easy move when you've got all that in your advantage. So Wild Dog effectively our net leader at the moment. Then you would say it's probably MUFC Harvey and Mark Wilson. Hedgehog's in the mix. He of course will have the fresher tyres and definitely should be able to go to the end. But a late safety car could spice everything up here. We've seen it in the past. I'm sure we'll see it sometime again. A bit of comments from the chat there. Josh Wills saying that the soft leader's not coming in is a horrific decision. Reverend Melvin asking why Hedgehog didn't pit. How far was he planning on taking the softs as MEC Harvey got past Quick Killer was there? Was that correct? And Wouter Blau, our good friend Wouter, he's saying Wild Dog GOAT. Nothing more, nothing less. Love the interaction in the chat tonight.
He doesn't need anything more to be said. He was a Wild Dog once again. So long ERS, using some ERS he doesn't have, but he's still catching up to the man with 40% now. ERS so.
Eddie FC Harvey doing the fastest lap of the race. He's still got pace in his tank. We'll need to pit again, but we know why he's the quality expert. It's just the race pace where things seem to go wrong for him. But like you say, Wild Dog going really good pace. Definitely a man to look out for in Tier 3 next season. Maybe needs to work on the ERS management, but that does come with time. You do sort of learn that, especially as you progress up through the divisions, because you're forced to learn it, I suppose, because if not, towards the latter stage of the race, the guys will just eat you up. Hedgehog looking to overtake, I believe that is the Ghost of BX37 Pro, so we'll stick with Wild Dog for the meantime. Quick Killer just about hanging to the back of MEFC Harvey. And apart from that, the gaps are starting to sort of settle out. 6, 4, 5 seconds throughout most of the field. It's looking to be one of them races that we might actually need a safety car to bunch the field back up, or we need something spicy with the tyres to happen. So Wild Dogs tyres maybe to go off towards the end. MEFC Harvey masterclass with the two-stop. Using
Nice, so easy. Wild Dog back in the lead. Who's gonna go on the grass to get past? But back in the lead of the Grand Prix. What a man.
keeping 2 tyres on the track just legal enough. We will. Oh, it's AFL.
AFL, it's AFL, but thank you. And he's in the gravel.
A little bit of a twitch through the exit of turn 3, just sending him wide into the gravel.
AFL is what Championship United will be.
Oh,
let's not mention football.
Don't let the head admins catch you saying that. That'll be you forever banned from commentary after that comment, I'm sure. Matt Rowney is catching up on Mean Man Moody. Mean Man Moody, man, we haven't actually mentioned in even the build up to the race. He's had a very good season so far. Multiple podiums. Not looking strong for another one today, as it said, but of course, we're only at the halfway distance here, bear in mind. 16 out of 32. We're not even. The end of this lap will be halfway distance, so anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Although I have to say, the gaps between everyone is insane. No one is near each other except for Matt and Mean Moody. So
very much gapped out.
only 2 people.
Hopefully that'll change when people make some pit stops and the field sort of reforms a little bit. Hopefully there'll be some guys in quicker tyres and some guys not. Matt Rowdy isn't catching Mean Man Moody at a great pace. Hedgehog might switch across to him because he is catching Funny O's chip pretty fast. They're catching each other at a equal pace, to be fair. We're going to jump to Hedge because he's going to have the run down into turn 1 with the DRS here. And this should be a clinical overtake on Funny O's chimp for what is P7. Of course, he'll be looking to move up once.
Very late if it's going to happen, and now he thinks better of it. He's going to go for the next corner. As he doesn't get better exits, he's playing with the throttle a bit too much. But
Matt Rowney, he's going to make the move here on Mean Man Moody, it seems. Only 3 temps stack, already got that rear wing wide open. And yet again, these guys are always having a think about it. These guys maybe abusing the ERS a little bit too much, and it's costing them when these opportunities arise because they can't get the full deployment down. They're on the very limits of what they have in the way of that extra.
ooh, and almost contact between Ostrip and Wild Shock. He's going to go for it at the chicane. Wow. That is a very, very interesting move.
Nice move from the spiky little mammal that is our Hedgehog. Our Kez, we love him. Big character in the lead. A big man in this championship. And after that, we've got a few 1 second gaps. MEFC Harvey, he's actually starting to catch up on AFL. AFL hasn't pit yet. He's had them mediums from the start. There looked to be a spin there. I believe that was Matt Rowney. He's dropped a good bit back from Mean Man Moody. And as we say that, MEFC Harvey's went wide through turn 3 and AFL picking up a penalty there as well. I think that was actually turn 5. But that's inviting Quick Killer in.
No, sorry to interrupt us. You can continue. I was about to say that. Let's have a penalty update from all the penalties from everyone.
Yes, we should. AFL in P2 at the moment on 6 seconds. MEFC Harvey P3 on 12 seconds. That could be something to keep an eye on. That could have massive ramifications at the end of this Grand Prix. Mark Wilson and Maverick, P5 and P6, both on 3 seconds, as is Funny Oz Chimp in P8. He is also on the 3 seconds. Spider Rob and Mean Man Moody partnering up alongside each other on track in P10, 11, and partnering each other up with a pair of 6s. Tom with Tip Top, P13, 11 seconds, and Scott Gay rounding up the back of the field with another 6 seconds. BX37 Pro, penalty free, although I don't know how much I believe that. MEFC Harvey coming into the pits as well, just to interrupt myself. He's of course been on the soft, so he should be going soft to the end. 13 laps is maybe stretching it. I believe he's only done about 9 and then might see him put on a set of mediums. But yes, BX37 Pro hasn't really been here for the race. Quite disconnected early and doesn't seem to have been able to get back in, or just hasn't rejoined for whatever reason. So I wouldn't really count that too much. Matt Rowney, Riordan, Hedgehog and Quick Killer and Wild Dog, of course, all penalty free. It's Hedgehog. No, that wasn't a pass on MEFC Harvey on track. That was still to do with the
close
pits.
from the two Mercedes. But MEFC Harvey does get out in front of Roda. Now, as a ex Tier 4 man yourself, do you think the teammates are in a party right now? Just talking to each other, tactics, and how the race is going?
It depends on team to team. I believe Wild Dog and Spider Rob, or at least Wild Dog and me and Man Moody, I know they normally party up. Hedgehog, Mark Wilson, and Mark Wilson and his normal teammate of me, Cammy, they normally party up. Hedgehog and Greg was also in that party, so they were sort of teamed up.
As we're talking, Harvey absolutely caught Funny ship very fast and got past him. Very interesting spot, but made a nice thing for him.
Similar spot as to what Hedgehog got past him. Nice little move there. So yeah, some of the teams are. Some of them will just be running their own race, not really caring about teammates. They're just solo gunners. It does really vary throughout the grid. You see it a lot more in the upper tiers, I will say that. I mean, in tier 2, I know I'm in a party with my teammate and a few of the guys from the other teams. We sort of just have a bit of a chill night while we race. Of course,
that's hard. That's hard to believe. You're usually in a party on your own, since you're so lonely. But
you're one to talk. You're one to talk, Mr. Malta, indeed. Of course, you've got a new teammate.
Has got a lot of pace, and you're done right on the rear wing.
Yep.
That Alfa Romeo.
Reeled and catching up very, very nice on the 9-lap-old hard. Funny chip on 19-lap-old mediums, so I expect to see him in the pit soon.
Change those mediums.
He will be able to go soft to the end. I expect to see the same from AFL in P2. Reeled would like to get a move done very, very soon because he doesn't want to get held up too much. And AFL is into the pits.
Oh, I thought it was a spin for a second. But look at Wild Dog, 6.1 second lead. Does he have to pit again?
That will be keys. Penalty free at the moment. Quick Killer will need to pit again, however, so that sort of nullifies him. The big danger for him is MEFC Harvey and Hedgehog. Of course, MEFC having all them penalties. If Wild Dog does need to pit again, he will probably be very close to Hedgehog if the pace gap stays the same. However, he will have fresh tyres, so we could see a battle very reminiscent of Sunday where it all comes down to strategy and who comes out where.
Indeed, but I have to say, if Wild Dog pits now, he's still going to come out P3, and he's going to be on the fastest set of tyres, which he can easily gain back with the pace he has at the moment. I think he should pit. I don't think he should take this to the end. I think he should pit for some fresh softs. He has some ERS gain now. I think he should use a good amount of it for the next 2 laps. Box for some softs and take those softs to the end to overtake.
Like you say, will he be P3? He might just be P3, maybe just P4. He'll be in that area anyway, but like you say, yeah, fresh softs. Quick Killer, he's in the pits, probably going to do exactly what you're saying. Of course, he won't be quite as far up as Wild Dog would. But if Wild Dog had pitted there, Mark Wilson has pains and has a lot older mediums, so he would have got an easy buy. It's interesting though, Quick Killer was on the same Linfold tyres. No, he wasn't. He was a few laps older as Wild Dog. But he was only 4 laps older. Wild Dog's got another 10 laps to go in them mediums. This could get spicy towards the end here. Quick Killer, he's going to be in fresh softs to the end. He's going to be absolutely able to push. It's Funny Chimp through the double right-hander in Sector 2. He is in fresh softs, so maybe just struggling getting him up to temp on his outlap.
Yeah, the man had a great start to the race. Currently struggling, unfortunately, on his debut.
2 to watch out for though. AFL and Quick Killer, both on fresh set of softs. Both going to the end. P6 and P7 at the moment. Quick Killer without any pains. They'll be looking to hunt down the guys in front of them.
Wild Dog's struggling, a little lock up there. A bit of struggling I see on those tires. He's spinning a little bit. And he's up in the, as I say that, there he goes in the pits. And I'm sure it's going to be a fresh set of softs to take to the end. Now, where is he going to come out?
Well, that was the we'll see very soon. MEFC Harvey is on the back of Hedgehog, who's pretty much on the back of Maverick coming through the final two corners. If I was Hedgehog
It's gonna be
or
so
Maverick, I wouldn't
close.
fight too much with Harvey because he does have 12 seconds. And
Oh,
Maverick is into the
pits.
pits. So
With
here we
a
go,
long
Wild Dog.
straight. Wild Dog still coming out.
And he is behind Hedgehog. Now, Hedgehog can definitely go to the end, as can MUFC Harvey, but MUFC Harvey has 12 seconds of penalties. Wild Dog on fresh softs. Quick Killer's only 2.5 seconds down the road, and so is AFL. This is just all came together. What did we say?
We wanted.
This is
But I
a
have to
Sunday
say,
repeat.
Wild Dog was storming in those 10 lap old mediums. Well, they were about 15 lap old now, but in 10 laps he was storming. Fresh off, he's gonna be absolutely blitzing pace.
Especially compared to Hedgehog's 9-lap-old mediums. He will be, however, wanting to get past Hedgehog and MUFC Harvey as soon as he can, because that McLaren and that Alfa Romeo of AFL, they've already gapped him up by about a second through the first sector. So Wild Dog maybe getting held up a bit with dirty air here. Quick Killer actually on the back of him. He might even have DRS here. And could we see a repeat? These two were the guys battling for the win in Baku until there was an incident together.
Oh, and
It
Wild Dog
looks
was
like
hit this done before the straight. Almost goes for a move on Hedgehog, but thinks better of it to get some nice DRS now. And he's gonna get easy past Hedgehog as Hedgehog does not get DRS on the man in front of him.
Quick Killer will have DRS as well, I believe. No, he doesn't. He just misses out. That could be quite a big thing here. He'll be looking to hunt down Wild Dog, like we had a battle in Baku. He's actually managed to drop AFL quite a bit, Quick Killer. But these two seem to be our Max and Hamilton for the second half of the season. Wild Dog, of course, having a slow start
Flags.
to the
Scott.
season through the first few races. Quick Killer coming in, filling a reserve space. He was a reserve in Tier 3, the lower end of Tier 3, must be said, and never really had much chance to race on the firsties, so he's got a shot on the Monday nights now, and he's definitely taking it by the horns.
Indeed, and very so to that hairpin was Hedgehog, who's lost so much time to Wild Dog already. Quickly right on the rev Aston Martin, so close he touches him, and that could have ended badly.
Of course, they are only on reduced damage here. If that had been standard, or of course simulation, we could have seen maybe a little flake of that blue McLaren front wing coming off. Little bit kind to him on that part. He's got away with nothing, but he needs to clear Hedgehog, and he needs to do it soon, so that he can chase down about that 1.92 second gap to Wild Dog. He is going to get DRS and the slipstream and DRS.
Go for it right now, and it's gonna be so late, but he's gonna. Oh, is he gonna go for the straight? Not yet. Wild Dog blitzing, and Mark Wilson will definitely have to pit again. So Wild Dog looking for the easy win right now. As Harvey has so many penalties.
You say that, but look at the speed Quick Killer carries through the first two chicanes. Maybe Wild Dog's suffering with that dirty air, but he's caught him up by about 8 tenths through the first sector. Do not discount Quick Killer, the man in the McLaren. He is...
Last time these two challenged for the win, sorry to interrupt you, but the last time these two challenged, there was a bit of contact, and I know that these two are in a party together. So they must be tense. They're gonna battle. Like, once again, they are gonna battle for the lead of the race, for the win of the race. Oh, Harvey goes wide. I'm very interested to see the last, what we have now, 8 laps, last 9 laps of the race.
It will be the last 6.
Yeah, including the next one, 6.
The last 6 full laps on this. Quick Killer not able to get into the DRS of Wild Dog on this occasion. EFL is in the DRS of Hedgehog, and Wild Dog is well and truly in the DRS, trying to go round the outside, gets it done just in time. That could have been a close one, but he does get the move in MEFC Harvey, and he has now got the burn rubber to the end and try and gap as far as he can before Quick Killer gets within reach. MEFC Harvey getting another pen.
Oh, and Spider Ups and all. Ooh, is that gonna be a safety car? Might.
It is! It is!
Safety car! And that's perfect! This is perfect for Mark Wilson.
Mark Wilson into the pits. He's got a 15-second lead. He'll be able to get in and out on a fresh slate of rubber. He has, of course, got penalties, but it is only 3. MUFC Harvey is on 18 seconds of penalties.
That
So
is so unfortunate.
this is really going to shape things up. Mark Wilson, we're going to ride on board. Is he going to come into the pits? Yes, he is. 16 seconds is the gap. He is going to be urging that Williams. Sub 2 stop for me, please, guys. Get this in, get it out, and let me beat that Ferrari. That will be... you know, I wish I was in the party with Mark Wilson and Hedgehog, and I believe there's a couple others, Atomic probably in there as well, because the pandemonium that's going to go on there is going to be something. He's not actually going to get out in front. He's probably going to come out P4, maybe P5. Hedgehog coming into the pits for fresh softs, as is AFL, surprisingly.
He is gonna come out. He's gonna come out P4 as a Red Bull that's coming by. He is lapped, so it's not gonna count.
So Mark Wilson, 3 seconds of penalties, but a lot fresher tyres, as is Hedgehog, as is AFL. Any of them 3 could get on the podium here.
Unless Hedgehog can deny him with great pace, looking for a great podium due to Harvey's penalty.
Well, that's the thing. Harvey's penalties, I believe the 18 seconds, unless he can pull out unreal pace on these mediums, them 18 seconds of penalties are going to probably drop him out of the podium contention. Mark Wilson with 3 seconds, so he would lose out to Hedgehog and AFL if they can hit. Well, AFL actually have pains as well. Hedgehog in a good position here. If he can just stick with Mark Wilson, he could be on for a P3. But if you're Hedgehog and Mark Wilson and AFL, you're on fresh softs, you don't need to conserve any tyres towards the end. You're just going to go for it.
I wouldn't go for too much though, because I have to mention Wildo, Quicker, and Hedgehog. The 3 people without penalties are all on 2 warnings.
So, that could be... could we see the race decided about? Not about who goes the quickest, who goes the cleanest between these 3. All to play for. Riordan as well, P7, he's on 1 lap old softs. Don't discount him because he doesn't have a pen. And actually Matt Rowley as well, he's not got a pen down in P10 on fresh softs as well. He could jump up a few positions so far. BX30, his Ghost still driving around. Of course, P12 at the moment, so I believe... I'm not too sure what happened there. Matt Rowney getting past the Maverick. Maverick maybe having a little spin out of the chicane, or maybe just going a little bit too slow in the game, allowing him to pit. A little bit Mark Wilson getting... I won't say that word, but I kind of do agree with that, because Mark Wilson, he did have a 14-second lead. He would have been us the tyres to the end, but I think it would have been close towards the end. But it gives him a great opportunity for some battling. And what is going on here? I just jumped on board with Riordan. There seems to be some shenanigans with lapped cars. Lapped cars trying to let the leaders pass. Of course, the game's telling them, no, you cannot pass. You've got to go back. And they're all sort of... Tomo Tip Top is trying to let the guys through, but...
Yes, because he overtook them. Oh, and there we go. 5-second time penalty for Onios Chamfer. Guys, what are you doing? Go ahead, go through the race. If Postmasters doesn't let you buy, you can't go buy yourself. And there we go, Hedgehog also a 5-second time penalty. Ignoring yellow flag, that's gonna affect him.
I can understand what Tomo Tip Top is trying to do. He's trying to get out of the way so that he doesn't affect the battle. But the time to do that is not under the safety car. So...
No, it is not, and I'm sorry for the stories tomorrow. That looks like a mix-up. The safety car in this lap, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, a 4-lap sprint to the finish. Wildo does not have 5-second time penalty. Will it be removed? We don't know yet. We can't count him for that. It's currently between Wildo and Quick Killer. What can they do?
Seems to be a 2-man shootout. Of course, Hedgehog, he will be feeling hard done by Mark Wilson, possibly as well. I don't know if he got pinned up way early.
And look at the start he got on MUFC Harvey. Right on the rear wing, but Mark Wilson's even closer. It's going to be so close. Mark Wilson, he is going to go down the inside of Quick Killer. Oh, and does he get it done? The quicker they bang, where's a quicker spun? That is the second time he spun so close to the finish. No.
Disaster for Quick Killer. We did see it. Turn 1 is just wide enough for 2 cars to go side by side. Turn 2, that's a slightly different story. I believe that'll be a report to the steward because Quick Killer will be feeling a bit hard done by that, but it might just go down as a racing incident. We will wait and see. I think there'll be a lot of reports for 5-second removals under the safety car with this Tomo tip-top shenanigans.
Indeed, Marquez on the charge now, and he is looking set for P2. Wild Dog, can't forget, it's been 2 warnings. Just be very careful in these last 3.25 laps. So we'll see how he does.
Just look at penalties here. So MEFC Harvey 18, Mark Wilson on 3, Hedgehog on 5, but there's a good chance that might get removed, as might Riordan's. Somebody else had one, I think it was Funny Os Chimp. So there could be a few penalties removed later on, but as it stands, I don't actually know. I think it could be a Wild Dog Mark Wilson.
Oh no, and Mark Wilson gets another penalty. That's his hopes. If Wild Dog got a penalty, that's his hopes for going over.
So Wild Dog now just needs to drive this car.
He tries one down the inside of Harvey, gets it done. Harvey very courageous at taking the space, and he is passed.
Of course, Mark will be looking at Hedgehog in his rear. Hedgehog only 5 seconds of penalties. Good chance of getting them removed, but even if he doesn't, he's of course got a second of penalties advantage over Mark Wilson. If he's within that second, we'll jump him before the stewards even have a look at that shenanigans on the safety car.
Matt Rowley is also set for podium.
I never even looked at him. what a jump this could be. It's Hedgehog and AFL picking up 3 seconds in 3 laps to go. This penalties have
Matt Rowley about to get a podium in his debut.
DRS will be enabled for the final 2 laps. This could get a little bit crazy because look at the top 6. Look at the gaps. There's about 6 cars within about 2.5 seconds, I would say. So if they stick like this towards the end of the lap, the DRS is going to be a bit mental. Of course, everybody just burning through the DRS. Why not? There's only a few laps to go. Wild Dog almost breaking the DRS on Mark Wilson though at the front.
He's just a race on his own. His eyes are on the wing now. He's one warning away from a penalty. I'm sure he has that in mind. He doesn't need to go fast. If O'Brien has a penalty, he can finish. He can finish about 15 seconds behind this.
Exactly. The only people that look that might have a penalty removed in that sort of mix is Hedgehog, and even if he does get the 5 seconds removed, he'll still be on 3. He just needs to stay ahead of Matt Rowney, who's currently in P8 really, and he's got this win guaranteed. Here we go.
The DRS for the final lap of the race.
The DRS train behind him though is in full flow. Everybody just draining the DRS, and of course everybody's getting DRS in each other, so none of them are really moving any further forward. It's just a train of speed up, I suppose we could call it. Everybody in that top 6, all in single figure ERS. Nobody up in the bank as we've seen this glitch before.
From Ben, now we've seen this glitch before. One of our head admins disqualified for using these special tires. I don't know who was racing. Anyway,
A bit fortunate that the person that has happened to, of course, not really involved in the Grand Prix, just ghosting around as an AI. So Matt Rowney though, he must be licking his lips here looking at it. Of course, he might not know exactly where he's going to end up. He'll see the guys in front of him with pens. You know, he'll see Ray Orton and AFL. I don't know if he'll see Hedgehog, Mark Wilson and MUFC Harvey, so
he's gonna see a P2 pop up.
he might just do. But we'll get on board with Wild Dog.
E3, new track. Same person. It's not one, it's not two, but it's the third one of the season. Wild Dog wins the Imola Grand Prix.
It's a fourth win of the season, actually. Mark Wilson gets P2, Riordan P3. What is going on? Riordan P3, Quick Killer P4, Matt Rowdy P5, Hedgehog P6. Mean Man Moody has killed it on the final turn of the final lap. I'm not too sure what happened there.
Not, but Quick Killer, the man who spun, doesn't get attention for the win, still got P4.
It was straight because, well, we had Matt, he looked good for a P2, and then he just sort of dropped down at the last minute. So I'm not sure if he maybe had an unserved penalty of some sort. But yeah, just in the comments there, McConey highlighting the fact that no pens will be very good round here, and Dragon on Speed saying that the domestic cat wins again. A little joke with Wild Dog, of course. The domestic cat, the Dutch, as his nicknames. He's tallying them up. But 4-time winner out of 9 races. Everybody else has only won 1. He's won 4 on the bounce.
Are you sure it's 4 wins? I could have sworn.
It is 4. He has won in Canada, Japan, Baku, and now Italy, or Imola. And I think with that, I've got to give him driver of the day.
Yeah, it has to be. I give him driver of the day, or probably quickly. Because not only was he start P11, but he went from P11 to in contention for the win, got spun on the final 4 laps, and still brought it back P4. There are going to be penalties removed, there are going to be a lot of things removed, a lot of things added, so I don't see as the fire. I don't see what you're seeing now on the screen as anything close to how it's going to be. So we'll just wait for the after the stewards report the final classification.
That we will. Just having a little request from a head admin there to see BX37 Pro's tyres usage, as he did use medium incidents. So let's have a little look at the end quickly before things disappear, because there seemed to be a lot of. I'm not going to get there on time. There was that many exceeding track limits and ignoring yellow flags. I hope somebody has the race defector footage if they're going to report. But while we load back into the lobby, I suppose we'll see if our top 3 want a quick little interview. It was, of course, Wild Dog, Mark Wilson, and who was front? It was Riordan. That's who it was.
Yeah, it was Riordan, Mark Wilson, and Wild Dog. Dutchman himself.
The Dutch himself.
And we have the domestic cat in. Let's wait for.
I'll just take us to. We'll have a little look at the domestic cat, or the Wild Dog, as he probably prefers to be known. Would be nice. Call him by his proper name, not his nickname. But how you doing, Wild Dog? You must be thrilled with that 4th win on the bounce.
I am feeling amazing.
Congratulations again. A very dominant drive there. Of course, started P3. Maybe not as great as you could have hoped in qualifying, but you certainly made up for it at the race there.
Yeah, I was on my final flying lap, and my teammate, he was also on my final flying lap, and yeah, I catched him up. So I was thinking to myself, just need to get a good start and get past him.
So you weren't too sure towards the end there if you're maybe going to try and stretch out the mediums to the end, or if you were going to go for the softs. Opted for the softs, and definitely the right choice looking back at it. We've got to feel a bit sorry for Mark Wilson. He of course lost out a big gap towards the safety car at the end, but you would have been very close to catching him with the pace he had. So we're looking forward to that battle. Speaking of the man, Mark, how are you doing, my friend?
Mark, congrats, mate.
How we doing? Yeah, you too, Wild Dog.
Thanks, mate.
You're jamming in 3 times now. Is that 3 in a row?
Yeah. In fact, 3 in a row. But in theory, like if you look at the races, then I won Japan, Suzuka, Baku, and Imola now. So technically it's 4, but because Canada was done, we was a restart. I have 3 in a row.
It's still 4 in a
Nice.
row because Canada was technically
Quick
the round
flex.
before Japan, so we'll give you the Connect 4 just out of kindness, I suppose. But Mark, decent result that.
you.
Back up on the podium once again this season. Must be quite happy with that.
Not bad. It was stressful out there.
Can imagine so. What were you thinking there at the final safety car? Of course, you had a 15-second lead on Wild Dog. He had much fresher
I wasn't
softs.
very happy. Very happy.
We did sort of think that whether this was ideal for you or not. We did maybe think under the safety car, with the Delta, that it might have been enough time for you to squeeze out in front of him. But of course, the long pit lane here at Imola just.
It just weren't good enough. I was in a chat with Hedge and Aussie Chim and Atomic, and Hedgehog was doing a rain dance, I think, for the safety car, and it came out, and I was gutted. I thought if that safety car wouldn't have come out, I think I would have. I mean, Wild Dog was coming at me, but I think I would have had enough gap to
I will not have called you.
Huh?
I will not have called you because I was only catching by like 5/10.
Yeah, if it was saying you was catching me by 5/10 a lap, and I was like, well, I'm going to easily breeze to it. And then the safety car come out, and I just, the pain.
It seems we have lost my co-commentator, so thank you for joining me tonight, Mark. I don't know where you've gone. Maybe the thunderstorm has finally got to you. But he's back. He's back. Both of you back up on the podium again. Next week we are at Mexico. Start with you, Wild Dog. How do you feel about that? What's your viewpoint in the Mexican Grand Prix?
If it's full wet, I have a chance. If it's dry, I will be in the wall. I have not finished a dry race at Mexico ever. I've never finished one.
If there was ever a chance to break that curse, then it is next week. Mark, what about you? How's your feelings with the Mexican Grand Prix? Well, there we go. 2 brutally honest opinions on the Mexican Grand Prix there from our P1 and P2 tonight. Well, I think we'll round things off very, very shortly. But Wild Dog, I'd just like to say you are my driver of the day. Very, very strong performance yet again.
I
think.
Was I the only one without a penalty?
No.
There was
Quick Killer didn't have one.
Quick Killer didn't have one. Neither did Matt Rowdy, but he might have picked one up on the line. We had to review the footage with that. I think, obviously, these standards are provisional at the moment. I think there might be a few steward inquiries. Might be a busy day for the boys tomorrow night, but we'll get the final results out later in the week. But actually, before we end up, Mark, is there anything you would like to ask her to since you're co-commentary?
Oh, that's me. I thought you were talking to Wilson.
Yes, it's you.
No, I don't think I have anything to add. I have to say well done to you 2 boys. You can ask Scott. Wild Dog, I did believe in you from the beginning. I did predict you were going to win, and obviously I predict everything. So, congrats on the win. Big well done.
Thank you.
Mark Wilson. Besides you having the GOAT of a name, not much else to say. So,
5/10.
great. Yeah, exactly. An extra 5/10 per corner. So you would have stayed ahead of Wild Dog, could have won the race, but fortunately from the safety car. Well, no, well done, both of you. A solid race. Wild Dog 4 in a row. Can't get any better than that, can it?
Go to Division 4 in it.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell the head admin to cut all your points to promote to Division 3 for the rest of the season.
Division 2, Wild Dog.
Next season,
Wild Dog
definitely.
is the new J Wills.
Definitely. I can't wait to be racing him in Div 2. If I'm still in Div 2 next season, of course, I could be racing down with you in Div 5, Mark, of course, when we get the move down. But we'll end it here, folks. That's, of course, been the Italian Grand Prix around Imola. Very, shall we say, different Grand Prix. Penalties having a huge impact on the final grid there tonight. I expect we'll see some shake-up in the final results once the stewarding issues come out, but we'll wait and see with that. You'll see that on Twitter and, of course, on all the rest of our social medias. Be sure to check back on the channel this coming Thursday, 7:30 PM. Tier 2 and Tier 3 take to the track with the big boys of Tier 1. You can see our very own relentless Mark on the grid. Thank you, Mark, for joining me tonight. You've been an excellent co-host as always. I look forward to coming with you again. And to the rest of you, I have been CRL Freefall. I wish you a very, very good night, and we will see you back here later in the week, and of course next Monday for the Mexican Grand Prix.